Hello, Trenchers and Trencher enthusiasts and sympathizers. I'm Sam Sutherland for Juno TV, and I am here with Marianis Trench. You just want to make sure everyone feels welcome.
Yes.
You know? It's not just for the hardcore fans, it's for everybody.
Ah, those poor people. They have such bad taste.
Now, you guys are in the middle of a press gauntlet for a story of your newest album. And often that comes along with being asked the same questions over and over and over again. So far, as you guys have been talking about this record, what's the one thing that no one is asking you about that you want to talk about the record? What's the thing where you're like, why is no one saying?
The length of Ian's sideburns.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's an
That's
important
very
one. No one's asking about that.
He literally just shaves like this. Well, actually, that's my question. I'm trying to look at you.
No, but the thing is, they've actually almost grown to an immeasurable length, so that's why there's no answer anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. Is that just because that actually looks like it's thinner than an
It's
actual
actually,
razor?
Yeah,
So do
but
have
you
like
got to
a-
account for the
to
pieces
get a
of
specialty
plastic.
razor?
Yeah.
Pieces of plastic on either side, so the blades are slightly.
Oh, okay. Do you ever think about seeing like how close you can get them?
I want to do like this, so I look like I'm wearing like a big equestrian helmet. Kind of thing, but
That's like the next album, maybe?
Yeah,
That'll be like when
maybe.
you sort of change vibes for the next thing?
absolutely.
It seems like there's a real proud tradition of musicians being obsessed with the Goonies. There's a lot of references. You know, the Ataris had an album called So Long Astoria. Newfound Glory covered Good Enough. The Goonies are good enough. You have Eight Arms to Hold You, the Veruca Salt album, which is a reference to the octopus and the song that was actually, I think, cut from the movie. As you can tell, I'm a fan. Is that something you guys were aware of when you started to theme this record around this kind of iconic film?
Not really, because it wasn't. It didn't come out of wanting to do something based on that movie. It came out of wanting to do something based on that genre, and meaning like when we did our last record, we wanted to I was really into having sort of a universe that the album could exist in and the shows could exist in. So when you go, you're like in the world. You know what I mean? And so we had done that fairy tale thing, and I was trying to sort of think of another setting that we could use, and I was watching the movie Super 8, and it was actually the last show of the Ever After stuff, and I was like, there's this genre of movie that's this sort of like it's usually sort of coming of age, kids going on some fantastical journey like Super 8 or The Goonies or Monster Squad or E.T., and those movies happen to set themselves in the 80s usually. So then it was just sort of like finding but it wasn't like there was a name for, there was no I was like, wow, there's a simple name for whatever that genre is, that's our title. And I remember us sitting at dinner and talking about it, and we couldn't, there was not like,
Thriller.
like a thriller. Yeah,
Suspense,
exactly. Yeah.
Drama. It's a, what is that kind of movie called?
So then it became just like looking for other, because I really like the idea of doing that kind of artwork with the sort of drawn posters that they used to do in the 80s and stuff, and doing like 80s references sonically, like that, like production styles and stuff. And then somebody suggested, Brett suggested Astoria because it was like, it was not so in your face about it. And then it sort of just made sense to have, the cover look somewhat Goonies-esque or whatever.
As we were sort of seeing
This is
here
great,
with
by
the
the way.
that's
skulls and jewels and candelabras.
Love the attention to detail there.
That's an actual real human skeleton, by the way.
Oh, cool.
That's actually the One-Eyed Willie skeleton.
Yeah, great.
It's real, which was a real skeleton, I learned as I was researching both the Goonies and this.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's authentic.
It is.
And
Do you have to get like a permit for that?
Yeah,
Or,
it's
like,
extremely complicated.
A mortician's permit?
Yeah.
That guy had
I
a-
actually had to go to like college for a week to get the certificate that was required. Is there other? I mean, Astoria is obviously a real place. They have Goonies Day now in Astoria, Oregon. In this case, it's a reference to the film. But in some ways, it's as a sort of place, it's a stand-in for like a lot of different ideas. And you mentioned, sonically what that is, and that idea of like 80s production and sort of 80s adventure. But is there anything else that it sort of conjures for you guys beyond just sort of that era, like other sort of themes?
I don't know. Like to me, like because the lyrically, like the songwriting on the record is so personal and is really it is so specifically about this sort of like 2 years of my life. Like now it sort of means like that time for me. You know what I mean? Like I have a sort of a personal connection with it that way. Like as soon as we finished recording the album, because like we did it in my apartment, and as soon as we finished it and wrapped it, But before it came up, because I knew that this was going to be like, this is the end of that sort of chapter for me, I specifically like just moved also like to like just have something new.
Yeah, just to sort of be able to close that chapter and like get rid of that kind of.
Yeah, put it away now.
Was there ever any consideration to stay, or were you like,
No.
did you know going? You were like, I need to close
yeah.
this book.
Yeah, yeah.
All of your music though has been sort of very personal, and you know you've touched on a lot of the sort of more intimate experiences that you've had in your life, and yet you know even watching this performance, it was very obvious when you guys were doing this vault session that you know you could see you were kind of drawing on some stuff, and the
Yeah,
reaction
sure.
of the people that were here sort of matched that. Is this record more personal?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it is. I had just like major stuff that had happened, and I just because of the way I am, I couldn't not address it and just kind of like write a bunch of songs that had nothing to do with that. Like I sort of always draw from my own life and write pretty autobiographical material, and you know because you can't help. I mean, your job as a singer is to emote. So for me, like it always just kind of like is there one way or the other, you know, whatever it happens to be about. So like that, you know, that song, like One Love or whatever, is so specifically about a real fear of mine. So yeah, when I sing it, it's gonna come out.
Mm-hmm. Is that ever going to get difficult for you to constantly draw on that? Like I imagine on some level that becomes emotionally draining.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it definitely does.
Well, good luck over the next year or so touring this album. I hope,
It's funny. It's interesting from our perspective too, because watching like Josh sing those songs every night while we're on stage, it's obviously, you know, some days it's pretty tough to get through, and you're just like, oh man, this is some heavy stuff.
and it's sort of your job to be there to, you know, back them up.
Yeah, I guess so.
We were around each other a lot during this recording process. Like, you know, when one guy was doing his parts, a lot of the time we were all around. So I think for me, I definitely feel more personally involved in this album, like, than the other ones, for sure.
That's awesome. So because, you know, of Astoria being the name of the album, talking a lot about the Goonies, one of the ideas here at Juno TV was to play an old-fashioned game of Sean or Corey. Of course, I'm going to throw you guys some trivia questions, and you have to guess whether I'm talking about Sean Astin or Corey Feldman.
In real life or the show?
I believe these will almost entirely be in real life. But
Perfect.
We'll find out. So, and also you're free to take these home with you.
Oh, great.
There you go. As you've always wanted a prop. Now, let me just,
Okay.
yeah. So and
Hold up the one you think it is.
exactly. Now, as you've noticed, the set is decorated with skulls, a pirate, candelabras, and all of these very real jewels.
Oh, rich stuff.
So
I just want one.
well, here's the thing. If you win, you can take all the jewels.
Yo.
So let's never say the Junos never gave you them,
Ooh, sack of jewels.
besides some Junos. Okay, so let me just pull up my questions here. They're going to start easy and they're going to get hard.
Okay.
You guys ready to play Sean or Corey?
Yes.
I'm the one in Stand By Me. Great. Okay, you all get a point. You all get a point. Of course, it is Corey Feldman. I'm Rudy. Of course, yes, Sean Astin is Rudy. I'm on a New Zealand stamp, but my last name is spelled wrong. Yeah, okay, that's pretty obvious. So we have Sean Astin again. I was the voice of Donatello in the first Ninja Turtles movie.
I'm just gonna copy him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The guys in the back are able to copy it. Okay, so 3 points, you don't get a point. It was, of course, Corey Feldman. Interestingly enough, which I discovered, Sean Astin does the voice of Raphael on the current Ninja Turtles cartoon. So they all have some turtle blood. I'm covered in cobwebs now from like playing with those stones. Oh God, it's One-Eyed Willie getting to me. Okay, 1 year before I became a Goonie, I starred opposite Jason in the fourth Friday the 13th film.
I'm going to just guess.
Any guess too?
There you go. You all guessed correctly. So far you guys are like you lost the
Minus
one. though.
one for Matt.
I know.
I purposely didn't look at
I didn't look
Josh or
either.
Matt.
I'm not
So,
gonna
like,
lie.
so I'm being. I
It's an-
won't.
oh, it's
I
an
won't
honest
cheat.
reaction?
Yes, I
Okay.
won't cheat.
To get a big reaction before a take, Goonies director Richard Donner would tell me that Michael Jackson was coming to set. Corey Feldman is the correct answer. Unfortunately, Sean Astin, not correct. So you're ahead right now. You've got all of
Really?
them correct, yeah.
Holy.
Yeah,
Nobody saw this early lead.
I
coming.
know. Okay. I improvised my big expository speech in Goonies. 3 of you guys are correct. Sean Astin, the One-Eyed Willie speech, improvised, yeah. Richard Donner just told it to him beforehand, and then when he says it, like he's all worked up.
Matt
That's
is
just him trying to remember
deep
it.
in the hole.
Really?
Yeah.
This is rigged.
This is,
That
I
one
know.
was easy because Corey Feldman didn't have a big
He didn't
speech
have
in
any
it. That's the
exposition.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So I
Corey
could-
Feldman
I
at
could
least
remember
gets.
any.
It was easy if you thought about it, but like Corey Feldman has the like, well, this one.
Oh, yeah,
This
that's-
one's mine.
no,
like,
he
imagine if he had
Right,
like,
right, he
that
did.
one.
Yeah, that's like
That's true.
it's not
That's
an
true.
expository speech though. It's just an emotional one.
But yeah, it's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a good speech. Watching that, I rewatched that movie and like in preparation for this, and I was like,
It's a good movie.
it's very misty when
Have
that
you guys seen The
happens.
Goonies?
Had you guys seen the Goonies before they named their album Astoria?
No.
That's good. So you guys are doing good work for the children of this nation.
But you know when 2 different generations can watch a movie and the newer generation thinks it's good, it still,
Yeah.
it holds up, right? And there was
Yeah.
no real effects back then. It was all kind of props.
Assuming they thought it was good.
Yes.
Did you guys like it?
They all just screamed at each other and somehow got stuff done.
So yeah, it's a,
Just like us.
it's a great metaphor. All right, they're going to continue to get harder. When Chunk calls the cop, the sheriff references one of my other movies.
I'm just guessing here.
You guys all guessed correctly.
No, I wasn't guessing. It's
Oh, you
Gremlins.
know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's like, oh,
one?
next you're going to tell me about the little monsters that are, you know, you can't get water on. That's right. Came out the same year, too. Spielberg, man. Running things. All right, yeah, this one is just a full-on guess. I left the DVD commentary recording of the Goonies halfway through because I had to introduce Joe Pantaleone at a local theater. You guys all got it wrong. It was Sean Astin.
Damn it.
Apparently, he left a Samwise Gamgee action figure on the control board and yells out in the background, "Shout out to Joey Pants," which is an awesome thing to do. Okay, last question. I accidentally called Josh Brolin his real name in the scene where Chunk breaks the water cooler in the abandoned restaurant.
I don't know.
Yes, you are correct. Your knowledge of this movie is very real and very deep.
Yeah, but
I also
think
have really
somebody
good
else
memory
won.
for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I remember dialogue and whatnot.
Yeah, you do.
Unfortunately, I do think you were the victor, sir.
Oh, come
Mike wins. Mike wins.
He gets the crown jewel.
You can have
I'll take this sack.
Absolutely cheating.
this sack of gems.
In England, they would say that's just not cricket.
I am covered. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for playing the vault.
Thank you for having
Thanks for
us.
being on Gino TV, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey guys, if you like that and you want to see more, check this out.
Look at it.
Take it in, drink it in.
Sip it up.
That's just straight up knowledge down there. Science too.